TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem, and in today's top stories. The Islamic Republic of Iran maintains an uncompromising position, vowing to reject any Western demand to amend the 2015 nuclear agreement, while in tandem, the Ayatollah regime is aspiring to utilize the European Union to draw the United States back into the deal. The Biden administration reiterates its intention to resume financial aid to the Palestinians. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is scheduled to visit the United Arab Amirates and the Kingdom of Bahrain next week. The Islamic Republic of Iran maintains an uncompromising position, vowing to reject any Western demand to amend the 2015 nuclear agreement. In opening remarks at Tehran's weekly cabinet meeting, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani pledged, quote, "Not a single paragraph in the nuclear deal will change, nor will there be any new negotiations." The Iranian head of state, whose actions and rhetoric are in full coordination with the Islamic Republic's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, went on to emphasize that any remarks about amending the nuclear deal by the Americans or the Europeans are irrelevant and useless. In parallel, the Islamic Republic's vehement refusal to accept any amendments, the Islamic Republic maintains an adamant position that the United States must be the first to return to the 2015 nuclear agreement, or else Iran will persist with the development of its nuclear program in breach of its international obligations far beyond enrichment levels required for civilian use. Nevertheless, with the Trump administration's so-called maximum pressure campaign still in effect, the Ayatollah regime is seemingly desperate to have the sanctions removed. Therefore, in its latest bid to narrow the gaps with the Biden administration, without having to concede its latest nuclear advancements for fear of losing face, Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif proposed appointing EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell as a potential mediator. The top Iranian diplomat made this proposition in an exclusive interview with CNN's Christiana Manpour, insisting that as the Joint Commission coordinator for the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which is the technical term for the nuclear deal with the Ayatollah regime, the top EU diplomat could, quote, choreograph the actions that are needed to be taken by the United States and the actions that are needed to be taken by Iran. Minister Zarif went on to claim in his following sentence that in contrast to the United States, the Islamic Republic, which is scrutinized by the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, consistently lived up to its promises under the nuclear deal.
Clearly, actions that Iran takes have always been monitored and verified by the IAEA. And we have shown that we fulfill our promises. The side that has not been able to show that it fulfills its promises has been the United States.
Zarif's claim of Iran living up to its promises, however, is far from the truth. This was confirmed on November 18th when IAEA Director General Rafael Mariano Grossi voiced concerns to the agency's Board of Governors over the Islamic Republic's lack of credibility.
This issue has been ongoing for quite a while already. You can even, depending on the metrics you want to choose, it's almost 2 years since these traces were found for the first time, and then there was a process of exchanges with Iran, and the latest information we got from them, as I said, was technically not credible. So this is why now we are saying, perhaps, I don't know if we can call about patience or impatience, but we believe that they need to give us information which is credible. What they are telling us from a technical point of view doesn't add up.
Meanwhile, in Washington, U.S. State Department spokesperson Ned Price responded to a question on whether the United States would consider, per Zarif's suggestion, appointing EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell as a mediator, and whether any U.S. officials had made contact with their Iranian counterparts as of yet.
When it comes to our strategy for the JCPOA and I should say to contain Iran's nuclear program, as we've said, in the first instance, we're going to have consult closely with our allies and partners, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but it's going to be a constant refrain of our foreign policy. That's what we're doing. We're also consulting with members of Congress, so we haven't, of course, have had any discussions with the Iranians, and I wouldn't expect we would until those initial steps go forward.
The State Department spokesperson went on to reiterate the United States policy vis-à-vis Iran.
If Iran comes back into full compliance with its obligations under the JCPOA, the United States would do the same. And then we would then use that as a platform to build a longer and a stronger agreement that also addresses other areas of concern. Of course, though, we are a long way from that. Iran has distanced itself from compliance on a number of fronts, and there are many steps in that process. I mentioned a couple of them, consulting with our allies, consulting with our partners, consulting with Congress before we're reaching the point where we're going to engage directly with the Iranians and willing to entertain any sort of proposal, especially since we've been very clear about what the proposition we have put on the table.
Among other topics discussed at the State Department briefing room included the Biden administration's intention to resume financial aid to the Palestinians.
The United States does intend to restore humanitarian assistance to the Palestinian people. We're not doing that as a favor, but because it's in the interest of the United States to do so. Globally, our humanitarian assistance provides critical relief, such as emergency food assistance, healthcare, education. And the suspension of aid to the Palestinian people has neither produced political progress nor secured concessions from the Palestinian leadership. Of course, it has only harmed innocent Palestinians. The United States will reinvigorate our humanitarian leadership and work to galvanize the international community to meet its humanitarian obligations, including to the Palestinian people.
Spokesperson Price also provided a readout on the formal normalization of relations between Israel and Kosovo, asserting that when Washington's partners are united, the United States is stronger.
The United States congratulates Israel and Kosovo on formally establishing diplomatic relations. Yesterday was a historic day. Deeper international ties help promote stability, peace, and prosperity in both regions. When our partners are united, the United States is stronger.
Turning to Jerusalem, where the Security Cabinet meeting that was scheduled to be held today to discuss the latest tensions with Iran has been postponed until Sunday in light of a separate cabinet meeting that has been scheduled for today to discuss the government's handling of the coronavirus. Separately, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had confirmed in a press briefing on the government's handling of the coronavirus that he intends to make a brief visit to Abu Dhabi and the Kingdom of Bahrain next week.
את הביקור בדובאי דחינו פעמיים בגלל סגרים. יש לו חשיבות ביטחונית ולאומית ובינלאומית גדולה, אבל צמצמתי אותו לבקשתי מ3 ימים ל3 שעות. 3 שעות, זה לא ביקור בדובאי, זה באבו דאבי. לא יהיה ביקור בדובאי. זה באבו דאבי, ייתכן גם ביקור בזק בבחריין, 2 מדינות שקרתו איתנו בריתות שלום, ואנחנו, יש לנו הרבה מה לדבר איתם, כולל אפילו בנושאים שקשורים בקורונה, אבל כפי שאתם יודעים, גם נושאים חשובים רבים אחרים.
During his scheduled trip to the Gulf, Netanyahu is expected to meet with the Emirati Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and Bahraini King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. According to domestic Israeli reports, Netanyahu is expected to utilize those meetings for the purpose of coordinating a united stance between Jerusalem, Abu Dhabi, and Manama towards the Biden administration in all that relates to regional challenges and opportunities. Thank you for watching us. For more of TV7's productions and reports, including a variety of programs and editorials, I encourage you to visit our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. And as part of TV7 Israel's prayer initiative, I would like to encourage you today to join myself and the team here in Jerusalem to lift up Serbia in prayer for its salvation and peace, alongside prayers for our persecuted brothers and sisters around the world, in addition to our ongoing prayers, of course, for the peace of Jerusalem, the salvation of Israel, and for all those who are impacted by the corona contagion and its numerous ramifications worldwide. Separately, I would like to thank all of you who partner with TV7 Israel. Your dedicated monthly support, both by means of prayer and finance, is of vital importance for our ongoing operations. I'm Jonathan Essen, wishing you an Erev Tov U'Mevorach, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.